Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be creating a card using Blue Knight rubber stamps, 2 stamp sets. This one is called Country Life, excuse me. And the other one is called Silhouette Corner Foliage. And I'm going to be using the Happy Birthday and the Sun from the Silhouette Corner Foliage. And then, of course, the main image is coming from this Country Life. In the month of October, Blue Knight Rubber Stamps is having a challenge on their Facebook page where fans of Blue Knight Rubber Stamps, that's their Facebook page, you are encouraged to combine stamp sets to create a card. And so that's what I've done here. I've also done a technique here that I haven't seen too many people do. There is one person that I've seen use it with red rubber stamps from another company, but it involves using ink to color in the stamp in the image and then embossing to enhance and finish coloring in. So we're going to go ahead and give it a try today, see how it turns out. This is my prototype card. I like the way the fall foliage turned out, the different colors in the background. I like the truck, it kind of looks like sepia, kind of old-fashioned. And I like the sentiment and the sun as well. So let's go ahead and give it a try. I'm going to move my camera so that it's giving a little bit more perspective here. This is my desk that we're working at. And I have a bunch of different inks here. I'm using Memento inks and a variety of different colors. I'll go ahead and move these out of the side here so you can watch the actual technique that I'm going to be doing for stamping. Okay, because it's really important, you would be best to have a stamp positioner and to remember to keep the paper in the MISTI the entire time until you have everything colored in. Don't take it out because I'm going to go over it and do some embossing at the end once everything is inked. All right, so I'll go ahead and turn the MISTI so you have a better view here of what I've got. I'm going to start with some red. So this is Ladybug, and I'm going to just start in the corner here and ink some of the trees with that color. Then I'm going to take an orange color. It's called Tangelo, and I'll go ahead and ink that. All right, so we've got some red and orange. Now I have some yellow here. And because I'm getting pretty close to the actual line of where the top of the truck roof is, I'm going to go ahead and use these little embossing daubers. These are just like little wooden craft daubers, but they really are very helpful for these really small areas. All right, so all I'm doing is just taking my dauber and putting the ink. This is yellow. It's called Dandelion along the ridge there. Okay. Now at this point, I'll go ahead and stamp it because I'd like to see how it's turning out and if I'm in the ballpark of what I'm aiming to achieve. So we'll go ahead and stamp it. And yeah, so far I've got 3 different colors of foliage, and I've got the yellow, and then in here will be where the truck goes. So let's go ahead and stamp the truck. And I have Toffee Crunch, which is, this is the color that kind of reminds me of sepia, like a old-fashioned picture. And I'm just gonna go ahead and ink the entire truck from the bottom to the sides and all the way up the top, and the wheel and the cab, all of the stamp of the truck I am going over with this light tan. Okay, we'll go ahead and throw the door over and see how this turns out. So you can see here, we're getting a nice image where the foliage is in the background. The truck is sort of like a sepia. I kind of like that look, distressed. But I do need to do a better job around the top of the truck. I'm missing part of the cab, the top. So I'll just go ahead with my brown, which is Toffee Crunch, and just get a little bit more detail there. With this process, you're basically doing a little bit at a time and, you know, viewing it as you go to see how you're accomplishing it, and basically what's your status as you go along the way. Now I'm going to switch to this color. It's called Rhubarb Stock. This reminds me of the burgundy colors that you see in the leaves in the fall. So I'll start here where I left off. Now, I did get a little bit on my truck, so I'm just going to take my finger and wipe that off. My fingers are very inky tonight because I've been really practicing this technique and trying to figure out along the way what's the best way to make this work. Okay, so there we have a nice maroon color, just like you see with the trees. And now I'm going to go to orange. And I have this color, it's kind of like a brownish orange. It's called Potter's Clay. So it's okay to even overlap them a little bit where you just stamped, because if you think about it, you know, that's how the leaves on the trees are this time of year. They're multicolor, and some trees, you know, will have different colors leaves, but that makes a nice ridge there across there. It's a little bit brown. It's not as maroon as I had liked. So I'll go back over it again. Oh, that was the Potter's Clay. That was not the maroon. I'll go back over it again. It's a little bit, just to get a little bit more of a rich color there. I'll just give you a look here, see how it's coming along. I hope you can, sorry, I hope you can see that all right. I think it's turning out nice, all right? Okay, now we're getting close to the buildings that are on the image. And I do have a microfiber towel here. I'm just gonna wipe this off a little bit. And I'm gonna focus on the little barn and the silo. And I'm gonna start with this gray color. This is gray flannel. Okay, and it's a very small image, so I'm doing the best that I can to ink it up without getting any of the ink on the surrounding ridge of the mountain. You see I got a little bit here. I'll just take my finger and wipe that off. Got a little bit up here. Just wipe that off. Don't want to, I would like to use a color along that ridge, not a dark, not the gray. So let's see if I did an okay job. Yeah, I mean, that's coming along fine. You can see the outline there of the buildings. So I like that. I think I'll go in with a brown now. So I'll go in with this rich cocoa, which is a nice dark brown. I'm going to wipe off what I have. Okay, and just, I mean, you could take a dauber if you wanted to get more precise. These daubers really do help, but I'm just going to go with the tip of my Memento ink here and try to get some ink on the buildings there. Okay. Oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, now I'm going to wipe it off and switch over to my little daubers to finish off this fine detail, because it's really getting down to the fine detail. I need to add some more of this bright orange, and so I'll take my little dauber here, dip it into the orange, and just run that across the ridge. It's very, you know, very small. This part of the stamp is small, but it makes a big impact. It's worth taking the time to go over this little detail. I'm gonna do the best I can here. Give it a tap over and see if I made any good impression there with the orange. It needs to be a little bit better than that. I can do better than that. We can do this. Go ahead in with some more orange. This is called Tangelo. Now we're getting somewhere. Sometimes you have to just go over it more than one time. So that's what I'm doing. I have been not able to film any videos lately. I have been so busy with work and different appointments in the evening that it's taken all of my time. So I'm glad that I'm able to get on here tonight and try this technique out. I've been thinking about it. It's been one of those things where I've been thinking about doing this and how it would turn out. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased with how it's turning out. Okay, next I want to, there's some grass down here, some wheat, and I have this color that is it's the Brilliance ink. It is called Galaxy Gold. It's really a beautiful gold. And what I'll do is down here where this grass like wheat is, I'll just tap over that. Okay, and it's just a beautiful gold. I think that this ink would look really nice with Christmas cards and whatnot this year. So anywhere that it looks like there's that wheat or grass, I'm just going to go over. Even along the bottom of the truck here, there's some. Okay, just want to show that we've got some wheat and stuff growing here. Okay, take that. Yeah, that's looking good. I'm going to go over it again. Okay, so that's looking really good. I'm pleased with that. You can see the truck, you can see the buildings, the grass. Okay, now comes the coloring in part. So this is where we take our daubers. And this one is really nice. It has two different ends. This is the one I've been using for red. So my first red that I used was Ladybug. I'm just going to tap my dauber, tap it off the page a little bit. This will be trimmed, so it's okay that I just did that. And just go lightly with my dauber. I'm just, you know, filling in that foliage, but I don't want it to be really dark. As if you can see the light shining through the trees, through the leaves. Okay. All right, next we'll go with the Tangelo. If you don't have these little daubers, you could use little sponges. Next, we need the Dandelion, which is the yellow. And flip my tool over here. And I'm just going to go straight in with that because it is yellow. And it doesn't really need to be tapped off. So that makes a nice... Okay, and then we're going to switch over to the rhubarb stalk, which is our sort of burgundy wine-colored leaves. I'll just tap that. And then we're going to switch to the potter's clay. Oh boy, I'm making a mess here. What's nice about the Mementos inks, they wipe up very easily. So the potter's clay is like an orange color, like a brownish orange. All right, and then I'll go back to the rhubarb stalk. I mean the ladybug. And then the cantaloupe. I'll finish it off with some beautiful orange. Okay. So I think that does a pretty good job. I'm just tapping in some orange here and there. I think that does a pretty good job of, you know, making it look like sort of a line of fall foliage. I think it does. I think it turned out good. Okay. Let's see here. Now we need to do our sentiment and our sunshine. All right, so I'll flip it over again. I'm going to use the rich cocoa for the happy birthday. Okay, I'll do that one again. Oops. All right, and then finally my sunshine, I'm going to use the cantaloupe, which is sort of like an orangish yellow. Uh-oh, I might have went, I might not have wanted to do that where I tapped off, but we'll make it work. Now I'm going to switch to the other yellow, which is the dandelion. I can always use a sand eraser on that spot there, or make it like a sunspot. Okay, now the next step. Next thing we need to do, now that we have our trees and the fall foliage and the truck and everything stamped in, and it's sort of like that sepia tone, now we need to heat emboss and with clear. So I'm going to take some of this Squeaky Clean, which is from Brutus Monroe. It is a limited edition. It's called Sweet Pumpkin Spice. So it's got like a very yummy scent of pumpkins. All right, I'm going to clean my stamp. I'm going to clean it off with the Squeaky Clean, and then I'm going to use embossing ink and use clear embossing powder to emboss the image. This stuff smells so good. It smells like a pumpkin spice latte. I want to get this stamp really dry so it doesn't have any moisture left in it. Okay. All right, next I'll use some embossing ink. This is just Brutus Monroe embossing ink. Okay, I'm just going to go over this very good a couple times. Sorry that my table's shaking as I do this. Okay, let's do it again. All right, now we can take it out of the MISTI. And I'm going to get some clear embossing powder, if I can get my paper out here. All right. All right, I have, this is Icicle embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. I forgot to use my embossing bag, my little embossing buddy powder bag, so hopefully that won't be too much of a problem here. This is clear. It's Icicle. It's clear embossing powder. Okay, that covered it very well. Now we'll go ahead and slide this back in the container. By the way, the Brutus Monroe embossing powders are the best ever. They are ultra fine and you get a lot for the money, and they do a wonderful job with embossing. I'm going to turn my heat tool on. I'm going to do this off the camera to help so that it's not so loud. All right, it's looking really good. You'll see this is my original and this is my second attempt. All right, I just want to make sure that that's not going to smear. Okay, so what I need to do is color in the with ink the wheat area, and then the little field, and then this sky in the back. So for the wheat, I'm going to take some of that Brilliance Galaxy Gold. Take my dauber, start on the edge here, and work my way towards the area that I embossed. Of course, I'll be trimming the edge here, so that's not really important. Okay, and I'm going to take some of this Toffee Crunch, take another dauber, wait a minute, I don't want to cross-contaminate my inks here and get the wrong color. I don't want my truck to be mauve. I want it to be brown. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. Okay, just tap it in a little bit. I'm going to pick a different dauber out. I don't like the way that's looking. It's looking a little bit too much like this other color that I have here. I don't want it to look like that color. I want it to look like Toffee Crunch. See, I'm just taking the dauber along the truck here where sort of the emboss resist is. Okay, that way the truck's getting, I love the way it looks like sepia. I think that's really pretty. Okay, now the field. And all my other attempts, I made the field sort of like that, sort of like a red, like I was thinking like a red dirt road color, but I think I'm going to switch to green just because I think that would really make the whole scene pop. So let me find my green that I want to use. Okay, it must be over here. Hold on a sec. Got bamboo leaves, new sprout, pear, tart, and cottage ivy. I think we're going to take the new sprout. I'll get a new dauber. That's a nice bright green. Definitely makes the fall foliage pop, I think. Nice contrast. And then over in this little area here where there's some more field area. Okay. That looks good. And then finally our sky. So for the sky, I have some distress ink, not distress oxide, just regular stress ink. And this color is tumbled glass. I can go right over the sun. I don't have to worry about that smearing at all. I can go right over the words. Everything is perfect to do since I have embossed it, and there's like an emboss resist happening. There, I just want a little bit of blue. I don't want it to be really, really heavy blue. Just to look, you know, like the sky in the background, obviously. Okay. All right. I think that turned out really nice. I think it's going to look a lot better once I trim it and get it on a nice piece of cardstock. So just let me grab my trimmer. Looks like I take a tiny little bit more off on this one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this boo-boo, but it's all right. It'll all work out. Oh, look at that, guys. You wouldn't even know it's there. Perfect. Just a little bit you can see. Okay, and then for the background, I'm going to go with, I think, a light blue panel for my card. So let me just look here and find some light blue. If I have any pre-cut already, that'll be the thing. Yes, I do. Here we go. This is like a very, very light blue, like a baby blue. I don't know where my bone folder is at the moment, folks. So, all right, so it looks like I'm just gonna have to trim a little bit more just to get it to fit on this A2 card base. Okay. Okay. And we'll just go ahead and adhere that to this base with some tape runner. Whoa. First, let me take the lid off. Here we go. All right, we have a beautiful happy birthday Blue Knight rubber stamp card. So this is my original, and this is my one that I just made here on the video. With the original, the sky's a little bit bluer, so I think I am going to make my sky a little bit bluer after I said that I wasn't going to. Yeah, I think I need to make it a little bit bluer for contrast. And on my original, I used like a reddish clay color for the field instead of the green. But I actually like the green better. I think the green looks nicer. So yeah, I can keep going over that and making it a deeper blue. I think overall, I think it looks pretty good. I think it makes a really nice fall foliage card, and it's a technique that I just started, like, for the first time, did today. So I'm pretty pleased with, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. I'm pretty pleased with how the technique turned out. I hope that you like this card, and I hope that it gives you an idea on how you can combine some of your stamps, like with Blue Knight rubber stamps. Go ahead and enter your combination onto the Fans of Blue Knight rubber stamp on Facebook, and you might be the winner if you submit your card that you make. I will definitely be submitting this one, and I hope that you'll look for it. I hope that you'll give me a thumbs up, and I also hope that you will subscribe to my channel so that we can keep in touch with each other. I like to send cards to my subscribers, and if you would like to receive a card from me, all you have to do is send me an email. My email is thehopefulcrafter@gmail.com, and then I'll send a card in the mail to you. You can always check me out at my blog, thehopefulcrafter.blogspot.com, and you can also find me on Instagram. I have information in the details section below on where you can find this stamp through Blue Knight rubber stamps, as well as other links to supplies that I used. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.